This weekend was meant to be the 17th running of the Chinese Grand Prix, before it was cancelled for the 4th year in a row. So instead, let's have a look back at some of the most memorable moments Formula 1 at the Shanghai International Circuit has given us. Shanghai made its debut on the Formula 1 calendar in 2004, but I don't have anything really to comment on there, so why don't we kick this off with 2005, where it was also the season finale, and it proved that even the very best of the best can make mistakes, with this incident before the race even started between Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari and Christian Albers in the Minardi. Schumacher not really realising the Minardi was there at that speed as well, and Albers not expecting the Ferrari to move over so late. The action beginning before the race even got underway. Both drivers did take the start in the spare cars, as back in this age of F1 each team did have a third car known as the T car. But both started from the pit lane, and Albers retired but was classified at 16th because he'd completed more than 90% of the race distance, and Schumacher retired after going off on lap 22. This was also the weekend that saw Renault win their first F1 World Constructors' Championship. The following year in 2006, it wasn't the season finale anymore, but it saw the 91st and final F1 race win for Michael Schumacher. And then we moved to 2007, which is the home of the ever-infamous pit lane entry moment for Hamilton. Having stayed out on his tyres for much longer than he should have, he had absolutely nothing left in them. And when McLaren finally boxed the 22-year-old Brit, he went wide into the gravel trap at the pit entry, where he got stuck. And remember, Hamilton went into that race, the penultimate race of the season, with a 12-point lead in the Drivers' Championship, and this was when you got 10 points for a win in F1. So McLaren, with him, could have wrapped up the Drivers' title that weekend, or made Hamilton's life easier at the final round in Brazil if they didn't bottle it like they did. But the pit lane incident happened, and Hamilton lost the championship for 1 point. Now I think we can fast forward to 2009, and this venue gave us the first win for Red Bull at the hands of Sebastian Vettel, managing the rainy conditions to take the first non-Brawn GP win of the year, his first of what will be 39 race wins for Red Bull, Red Bull's first of what is so far 95 race wins, but I'm willing to bet that number will go over 100 this year, and we all know it, and it was also Red Bull's first 1-2 finish. They've had 21 of those so far, if anyone was curious. Seriously, this is a freaking energy drinks company. How have they been so successful in F1? But while we're talking about Seb Vettel at Shanghai, how about this cheeky little double overtake in the pit lane entry back in 2016 under an early safety car, sneaking past two slow-moving cars ahead of him on his way to the pits. Very smart from Seb, and he did go on to finish that race in P2. The race that was, of course, the race of the infamous Danny Kvyat torpedo moment at the beginning.
You came like a torpedo.
Well, it's racing.
Now, if we backtrack a couple of years to 2010, the 2010 Chinese Grand Prix weekend was, of course, the weekend of the infamous Sebastian Buemi moment I think we've all seen, where his front tyres just blew off the car in rather dramatic fashion. Heading down the long back straight, suspension clearly just couldn't handle it anymore. It's like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. Boom, tyres gone. But while he couldn't really do much to prevent his suspension from completely just giving up on him, if we look ahead to 2011, then we can recall that Jenson Button very much could have done something about going into the wrong pit box during the race. Instead of driving into the McLaren box for his change of tyres, McLaren were second in the pit lane, he accidentally drove into the first pit box, which was Red Bull, who were out for Vettel coming in behind the Brit anyway. But hey, other drivers have gone into the wrong pit box. Hamilton did it a couple of years later, we've seen Vettel do it a few times. How long until someone does it this year? And then finally we have the last running of the Chinese Grand Prix back in 2019, and not much to comment on per se, but that was Formula 1's 1000th race. We've also seen some brilliant comeback drives at Shanghai, like Alex Albon in 2019 going from the pit lane to P10 for his first points finish in Formula 1, or Max Verstappen in 2017 going from 16th to 7th on the opening lap, and then going on to finish that race on the podium in P3. Although, mind you, that's the kind of thing we expect to see from Max these days. Or how's about the following year in 2018 when his teammate Daniel Ricciardo won from 6th on the grid after making some brilliant overtaking moves? What are your favourite moments from the Chinese Grand Prix? And do you miss this track being on the calendar? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.